banning social media would reduce harm?
Well, somebody that might disagree with that is perhaps somebody that doesn't really take much notice of the news. You could say that in so many things. I'm sure there's people that have been bullied at school and eventually taken their own life. Do we ban schools? Then of course we don't.
Okay. A really strong argument as to why I would be on this strongly disagree with the social media ban is social media should be banned for people under the age of 18. 3, 2, 1, move. Okay. Why you want to slightly agree?
Because I think everybody, even though they're under 18, has different levels of kind of maturity. So I kind of think that some people could be on social media and use it responsibly. Obviously, other people, maybe more vulnerable, perhaps couldn't, perhaps aren't at that sort of stage.
Okay. Why slightly agree and maybe not agree?
Well, like I say, I think it's there are some people that could possibly use social media and find their advantage.
Okay.
But I also think there's 18 is a very young age still. And
Okay.
I think the mind sort of starts developing or finishes developing until it's about 23. However, it's also a time when people can vote. I think people can smoke and drink, and so it's recognised as that you are an adult.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're under 18, you're still it's considered by law, but you're still on your journey to becoming an adult.
Okay. Okay. What would it take for you to go to either the slightly disagree or the agree? Was it any evidence, reason, arguments, or anything that anyone can present to you that would change your mind or change your mat even?
I suppose if I've read enough stories that social media was really harming people under the age of 18, I might be more persuaded to sort of say maybe an outright ban.
Have a stronger position on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes that might mean other people that perhaps who wouldn't be affected by social media. They would just unfortunately have to sort of accept that if there's an outright ban,
Okay.
that they'd also have to sort of suffer as well.
Okay. Go back to the neutral for me.
That made sense.
No. That makes a lot of sense. Social media can cause harm. Social media can cause harm. 3, 2, 1, move. Okay.
So I've definitely, yeah.
You strongly agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've there's definitely sort of cases in the news that sort of suggested that people.
Okay.
Was it? I can't remember her name. Molly, somebody who kind of committed suicide. So, yeah, I think there's enough evidence to suggest that people can misuse it and bully people and that kind of thing.
Okay. Something which causes harm should be banned. Something which causes harm should be banned. 3, 2, 1, move. Happy with that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I think it almost goes without saying, doesn't it? That anything that can potentially hurt somebody has to be banned. Yeah.
I'm just curious because earlier you said you want to slightly agree for social media should be banned. We've established that social media causes harm and something that causes harm should be banned, which you've been a strongly agree for those, Matt, but you want to slightly agree for social media should be banned.
Well, I think the statement was do you agree that something that definitely does harm some people?
Okay.
And that is, I think there's also evidence that probably social media can be actually quite good for people.
Okay, let's explore that prompt. So go back to the neutral for me. Social media has got positives to it. Social media has got positives to it. 3, 2, 1, move. Okay. What positives would you say social media has?
I mean, when we talk to social media, I also think of things like YouTube as well, and that. So actually, sort of learning about the world, learning about each other, and that it's just a different way that we learn about one another now that we probably didn't do before. You can explore different ideas. It's a form of communication, and a lot of people say, wouldn't it be great if we could just get back to a time before social media? But I think I've definitely enjoyed some aspects of it. I can't sort of say that social media has been a disaster completely.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know.
Okay. By banning social media, we can reduce harm to people under the age of 18. By banning social media, we can reduce harm to people under the age of 18.
I couldn't sort of. It's between those two actually. I couldn't sort of say I could strongly agree with that. That if we did ban it, there's no evidence that would just absolutely mean that people wouldn't be bullied.
Okay.
And be abused, but so I couldn't sort of say for sure.
If somebody was on the disagree, what would they say? What would somebody on that side of the spectrum say?
Just can you give me the statement again?
I forgot to say it myself actually. Banning social media would reduce harm.
Well, somebody that might disagree with that is perhaps somebody that doesn't really take much notice of the news. And there's so many so much evidence out there that sort of suggests that there have been cases where it has harmed people.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to the neutral. I'm going to repeat a claim that I may have already said.
Stop it, mate. You're right.
After we've just had that sort of discussion there, I'm going to go back to the original claim. Social media should be banned for people under the age of 18. 3, 2, 1, move. You'd say you're still on a slightly agree.
Yeah.
After that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I mean, obviously, if anyone, you could make this statement, if anyone is abused or, ends up sort of in a position where they take their own life, we should just look at that. But you could say that in so many things, I'm sure there's people that have been bullied at school and eventually taken their own life.
Mm-hmm.
Do we ban schools then? Of course we don't.
Okay. So it sounds as if banning social media might not be addressing the root of the problem. Was that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay. Where do you think I am on this? If you were to ask me that question, what would you think I would be?
I don't know. I don't really know you, to be honest. So to ban it, you mean?
Yeah. Where would you? If you were to ask me that question, what do you think I would be?
Actually, probably here.
On the agree? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm actually not entirely sure. I think I'm probably maybe where you are on a slightly agree. I think, however, I have heard convincing arguments that would probably make me move here. But yeah. So what I think was interesting when it's not so much the ban itself, but how the ban has been introduced. So I think the way it's coming in is as of May next year, it's happening overnight. I think probably a better way to do it would have been to phase it in over time. So do you remember, did you see that law that came out, which Prince Charles, at the time Prince Charles, I think now it's King Charles obviously, about the smoking ban for children that are born after 2013 will no longer be able to legally buy cigarettes. I think that's a slightly better way of doing it. Only because people who are born now, who are the age of maybe 8 or 9, who are maybe slightly too early to use social media, aren't going to feel the detriment of it as much as people who are 14 next year or 15 or 16 next year, and almost happens overnight. So it's almost phased in.
They have to sort of get used to it straight away.
Exactly. A really strong argument as to why I would be on this, strongly disagree with the social media ban is, what are we going to replace social media with? What do you think about that?
Question. I haven't really thought of it, to be honest. I mean, kids are kids. They'll probably find ways of getting around it. I'm not quite sure how the ban actually plays out, how they can actually sort of police that anyway. And whether it's like a facial recognition thing or...
Sure.
I obviously don't know what
The ins and outs, the technical.
Yeah.
I think they're still trying to figure that out anyway, aren't they?
Yeah. But I think we just sort of said that the root of the problems that we've sort of seen through social media it isn't the social media itself. That's just a vehicle for the problems we've always had.
I see.
So I guess that it might help eliminate online sort of bullying and that kind of thing. but I guess it's still going to exist in some sort of capacity, unfortunately.
Go back to. Have you still got time? Can you continue? Okay, I'm going to make one more claim. By banning social media for children, for people under the age of 18, we risk pushing them into unregulated spaces. By banning social media for people under the age of 18, we risk pushing them into unregulated spaces. 3, 2, 1, move.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah.
Why slightly agree?
I actually meant to stand on that one, but
You can free to move at any time. Okay.
yeah, I suppose the thing about social media, despite all the sort of stories we do hear and that, I do think maybe the tech companies are trying the hardest to make it a place where it's safe. And I guess if people can't go into those spaces anymore, we're back to be something that isn't so policed. I don't know, maybe.
Could potentially probably get worse, I suppose.
Yeah, and then they always sort of say, don't if things go under what they call underground, like if it's not if it's not sort of governed correctly in that, but again, I don't quite know how the ban will work in terms of will these kids be able to get onto these sort of into these spaces. I don't know. That's kind of like
Okay. Always good to say I don't know when you don't know. Amazing, Simon. Thank you so much for playing. That's all the prompts I had for you today. If you scan my little QR code, if you've got your phone on me, if not, I can give you like a little card.